And next is RAD, that is rapid application development. This model is type of incremental model in which components are developed in parallel way, which emphasizes on extremely short development cycle. And by short I mean, does not mean the software is simple and it has only few features, but the development process time period has to be short. So if the development process time is short, so if the development process time needs to be short, then we use this rapid application development model. As you can see in the diagram, many teams execute the go through the development process using the phases. Like team 1 is going through is working on module 1, going through the phases of RAD. Team 2 is similarly going through the phases. Team N is similarly going through the phases of RAD. That means team 1 is team 1, team 2, team N is parallelly working on different modules of the software. So here the development process in this RAD is in parallel manner, that is different team works on different modules of the software at the same time, and at the end all the modules are integrated and deployed to the customer. Now let's see what are the phases executed by these different teams. Now first, as you can see, first it will make the business modeling. It will do the business modeling. So in business modeling, in this phase, all the information related to the business, how your business will result in payable checks, that means how to make money and how to increase the quality of product and delivered value product to the customer. Second, then goes to the the team goes to the data modeling. In this data modeling, the information gathered in business model is classified on the basis of different categories and that are used to define data object. Here the data objects are defined and all the characters of data objects are identified, which is useful in development of business and all the relationship between the data object are also explained in detail in data modeling. And after data modeling, it goes to process modeling phase. In this phase, data objects are converted, the data objects which have been created in which have been developed in data modeling, that are converted into required reusable process. During this phase, change and optimization in project development can be done as per the requirement of the customer or the customer or the organization to increase the value and quality of the product. Then it goes to application generation phase. In application generation phase, it's basically the phase of implementation, that is coding and all. As we already know, to create a software, different automated tools can be used, which can help in reducing development time, which is also a main concern of this RAD model. By using the automated tools, the development process time is reduced. Last is testing and turnover. In testing and turnover phase, as we know, this RAD uses reusable components, so that effort that are required for testing are reduced, as it is already used before and it is already been tested. So to using this already used components, testing is not required. But when a different or when a new component are added, then testing has to be done to remove error from that component. So and then it is deployed to the customer and feedback is gained from the customer. After doing all this by different teams, team 1 will finish testing and turnover, team 2 will finish testing and turnover, similarly till 10n, and after that at last all the modules prepared by different teams are integrated and whole system testing is also done. Then the final project or product is deployed to the customer or the business or the organization. Now what are the advantages and disadvantages of RAD? The advantages, you can see, it reduces development time, and second, it encourages customer feedback also, as each module is given to the customer and feedback is gained from the customer. Now here A quick initial review is also advantageous, because each module is being parallelly developed, so quick review from the customer can be gained. Easy to accommodate changing the requirement. Why it is easy to change the requirement? Because different modules have been working at the parallel time, so if any changes are required, so at that time only we can change the or we can accommodate the change according to the requirement. Now, what are the disadvantages of RAD? That it needs highly skilled team members or highly skilled engineers to execute in the team. And customers involvement is required, because in each module customer has to give feedback, and that is working parallelly. So throughout the RAD model, customer involvement is also required throughout the development process. And implementation, and it is implementable only in those projects which can be modularized. So if some projects can be divided into segment, only at that time this RAD is advantageous. So this is your RAD, that is rapid application development life cycle model. So now next model is spiral model. Spiral model is one of the most important SDLC models, which provides support for risk handling. In this diagrammatic representation, it looks like a spiral with many loops. The exact number of loops of the spiral is unknown and can vary from project to project. Each loop of the spiral is called a phase of the software development process. The exact number of phases needed to develop the product can be varied by the project manager depending upon the project risks. Spiral model is a combination of waterfall model and iterative model. The software which is developed in a it is in a series of incremental releases. That is with each spiral or loop, new release of a software is developed, and each spiral is related to different development process. Let's say the first iteration or first loop or first spiral indicates the concept development. All the concepts are developed. Now the second iteration or second loop can indicate the system development. The third iteration or third loop can indicate system enhancement if required. The last iteration can indicate system maintenance. Now here we can see there are 4 phases in spiral model. In different books there are different phases, just the names are different, don't be confused on that. So in first phase here, objective determination and identifying alternative solutions. Requirements are gathered from the customers and the objectives are identified, elaborated and analyzed at the start of every phase. Then alternative solution possible for the phase are proposed in this quadrant 1. In quadrant 2 you can see identify and resolve risks is there, phase is there. During this second quadrant, all the possible solutions are evaluated to select the best possible solution. Then the risks associated with that solution is identified and the risks are resolved using the best possible strategy. At the end of this quadrant, prototype is built for the best possible solution. In the third quadrant you can see developing next version of the product phases there. During this third quadrant, the identified features are developed and verified through testing. At the end of third quadrant, the next version of the software is available, because here the prototype is already given, and then according to the feedback of the customer, the new version of the software has to be created. Now in the fourth quadrant, review and plan for the next phase is there. In this fourth quadrant, the customer evaluates the so far developed version of the software and gives feedback. In the end, planning for the next phase is started. like in which phase we have to go. As as I mentioned earlier, a spiral model provides support for risk handling. So now, what is risk, how it is how risk handling is done in a spiral model. A risk is any adverse situation that might affect the successful completion of a software project. So the most important feature of the spiral model is handling these unknown risks after the project has started. Such risk resolutions are easier done by developing a prototype. That is why we develop a prototype in spiral model. The spiral model supports coping up with this risks by providing the scope to build a prototype at every phase of the software development. So if we are having four spirals or four loops in a spiral model, then it means that we are having four different prototypes or releases of a software, which which in fact solves all the risks which comes while developing the software. So there are so many advantages and disadvantages of spiral model. The main advantage of spiral model is risk handling, as I said earlier, and it is good for large projects, because it is recommended to use spiral model in large and complex projects, because it's very easy, or let's say it's very flexible in nature, so that large projects can be successfully developed with the help of spiral model. Flexibility in requirement. Now, change request in the requirement at the later phase also can be incorporated by using this model. Customer satisfaction is there, because in every loop or in every spiral prototype is given to the customer, and after the customer accepts, or after the customer gives feedback, certain if certain changes has to be made, then the developer changes the manipulates the software or maintains the software. Now, what are the disadvantages of spiral model? It is very complex, or complex model, as you can see. As it is complex model, it is obviously expensive, because more complexity means more cost of the software or the product, and it is dependable on risk analysis. The success, that means the successful completion of the project is very much dependent on risk analysis. Without a very high experience expertise, it is going to be a failure to develop a project using this model. And there is difficulty in time management also, as the number of phases, the number of loops is unknown at the start of the project. So time estimation is very difficult, because we do not know how many loops is required in the development process. These are the resources which I have used to create my presentation. You all can check this website to gain more knowledge. These are the few questions which are important that will help you enhance your knowledge and also help you in your semester exam also. Thank you everyone for watching the videos. Hope you gained some knowledge from it. Thank you.